In 1927, the GEDE Ruins was gazetted as a historical monument. At DS Media, we show you why this is such a special place. This is Fresh from Malindi with me, Sophia Rukwaro.
Hi.
Hello, Joe.
My name is Hudson. I'll be taking you around the GEDE town.
Okay,
so welcome to GEDE. Feel welcome.
So you're calling them? Okay.
Saddam Hussein.
So they...
This one.
What?
It's a male one. It's a very heavy one compared to the other one.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're friendly?
Yeah, they're friendly. So the species we have, we call it sykes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are at GEDE Ruins and we are welcomed by this amazing, beautiful monkeys. Very friendly here. So yes, it's the old versus the new.
So in here we have a map of GEDE Ruins. So this is the entire GEDE town. So actually GEDE was a town, one of the old towns which were established by Arabs along the Indian Ocean coast. But this one was started by Arabs, then later on they were joined by Swahili, Oromorgala and the Indians. So it was started in 12th century, reached its climax in 15th century, then in early 17th century, that's the time they came and abandoned the city. So the acreage of the entire city was covering 45 acres, but excavation was done within 12 acres. So it used to have two walls. For protection purposes, they used to have an outer wall and the inner wall. So the outer wall was covering the entire city, the 45-acre town. Inner wall used to secure mostly the rich inside the city. That's the place we have the palace, very big mosques, so many big houses existed inside the inner wall. So you believe for the rich, you used to live inside the walls, middle class in between the inner and the outer wall. And outside for the poor, because during excavation they found a mosque existing outside the walls. So most probably for the poor, they used to build with mangrove poles, dry coconut leaves. So with time, their material were washed away completely. Okay, for the GEDE, it means precious. It's a Gala word.
Wow.
Yeah, so it means precious. Again, within the Gala community, they use it like a name. That's why we have Fatma GEDE. So it's a Gala term here. Yeah. But the original name was Kilimani. So later on, it turns to GEDE now. So it's GEDE, not GEDE, but you'll hear some people call it GEDE. So due to pronunciation of the locals around, most of us, we are from the Mijikenda. So instead of saying it GEDE, most of us, we end up saying GEDE. Yeah. So it's GEDE, not GEDE. So we go?
Let's go.
So this one is a recent excavation.
Okay.
So for this one was recently excavated by Stephanie Pradin. That was 1999 to 2000.
That is recent.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, in here we have a well, one of the dried wells. So we have an excavated mosque. So where they used to get water for ablution, they used to fetch it from this well. Then they pour it within that small box. So they wash their hands, their feet before getting to the mosque for prayers. So these are well used for the ablution within the excavated mosque side. So this one is a tomb. Yeah. So actually you'll find like as they were excavating, they used to do the carbon dating for this tomb. So after they excavate the place, they used to take carbon dating, then they return the bones inside. That's why we are able to tell exactly this mosque existed this century, yeah, which particular areas as well. So in here we have two mosques.
Okay.
This is the excavated mosque. We have a 12th century mosque and the 14th century mosque.
So how do you know it's divided?
So for this one existed first. That's why if you look clearly, we have some foundations inside here.
Okay.
So this is the first mosque which existed first. Then after it collapsed, they came and covered the place, built another mosque on top of the previous one.
Okay.
Yeah, so this one it's a 12th century, this one it's a 14th century mosque. Then afterwards, now after they left the city, now the nature took over. So the tree started on top of the wall. So spread roots up to the ground side. So it's over 300 years. It's a fig tree. Yeah, and it's a broadleaf fig.
Okay, please tell us your name and which country you're from.
Hello, my name is Sven. I'm from the Netherlands.
And specifically, why do you love visiting Kenya?
Well, there are a number of reasons why I love Kenya. First of all, the people, of course, because the people are very friendly. They're always smiling. Poor and rich, they're all very friendly. The sun, it's not always as good for my for my skin, but with some sunscreen you can survive pretty well. And yeah, the nature I like. Yeah,
How have you found the GEDE ruins for you?
I'm sorry?
How
the
can
GEDE ruins? Yeah, it's for me the first historic site I'm visiting, and I really like it. It explains that this area is quite old already, has quite an ancient history, and it also shows why it tells a bit more about the Arab influence of this part of Africa. So it's I really like it.
Can you advise other people also to come here?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I can recommend a lot of people to visit this place of Kenya. Of course, it's known for the nature, for the wild parks, for the atmosphere of the people, the vivid life. But here you can also show that there is more than just a young country. There is actually history behind it. I think it's really nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So it's a dated tomb. So we call it dated tomb because they found the date within the tombstone. If you look clearly, we have some scriptures written in Arab. So within the scriptures, that's the place they found the dates. Then they translated it down here. The first one is Islam calendar. The second one is Christianity calendar.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is one tomb, this is another tomb. Then this is the town center. So like the CBD within this area.
Okay.
That's the place we have the palace. So many big houses existed within this area. That's why you will find like within this area, much of the excavation was done within this area. If you look clearly where we have trees, they're like on top of soils. So that was the ground level before excavation. So afterwards, they excavated the area. So we have some of them which were visible, but most of them were buried. So they used to excavate so that they can find the foundations within the area.
Yes.
So this is another well. So for this one was used within the Great Mosque.
Okay.
So we have a mosque in here.
And this one is bigger than the other one?
Yeah, this one is bigger than the other one. Again, you'll find like this one is much wider compared to the first one.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at it, they built it up to a certain level, then the rest is coral. So they broke the coral stone up to the wetter level side.
Wow.
So that's why we believe the ocean used to be close so that they were able to hit the coral stone at a higher level. Yeah.
Amazing.
So where they used to get water for ablution, in here, they do the ablution, getting to the mosque for prayers. Yeah. You get inside.
All right.
So they used to fetch water from the well side, then they pour it at this end of this conduit. So it used to flow through the conduit up to the cistern side. So this is the place where they used to do the ablution before getting to the mosque side. So for the dirty water, we have a septic tank in here. So they used to fetch the dirty water, pour it inside here. So it used to filter through the rocks up to the well clean again. We call it Great Mosque because it is the only mosque remaining with the walls still standing. So for this one was built in 15th century.
15th.
Yeah, so the walls have been standing since 15th century up to date. Still strong, still standing. So this is the great mosque inside. So we have this one, it's a Qibla, where the imams stands for prayers within the Qibla side. So for the Qibla, they design it in such a way that it has it's dome shaped inside. It's carved inside. So it used to echo back the sound. So it acted like an amplifier within the mosque side. That's why if you get inside, you'll hear that the sound is like kind of echoing as well. Yeah. So maybe you can try. Allahu Akbar. So it acted like an amplifier so that even the last person inside the mosque can hear the imam from the Qibla side. This is the main part. Ladies were separated from the center. So ladies behind, men within the front hall.
So in the past, ladies used to come to the mosque?
Yeah, but in a different section. Yeah, so they are completely splitted on the different section as well. Up to date, they go to the mosque, but not all mosques, they have the division. Yeah, but for a lady, it's not a must you go to the mosque. You can pray at home, so it's allowed. But for a man, you need to get to the mosque. Yeah. So if you look clearly within the women's side, we have some windows.
Right.
Within the men's side, there is no window. So they used to lock the doors within the men's side. So if the imam prays within the Qibla side, the sound used to get into the ladies' side, then it goes out so that it doesn't re-echo back within the mosque side. So this is the mosque ground. We have some tombs in here. So it's due to that belief within the mosque side, it's a holy ground. So they used to bury each other next to the mosques. So you'll find like each and every place we have a mosque, we have like some tombs nearby.
And those who are buried here were the imams or?
Mostly they used to bury the mosque members, from the imams, the mosque people who attend the mosques within the site. Yeah, so they used to bury them within the mosque area or ground territory.
Okay.
So let's use this route. In here we have a street. So like Lamu side, the narrow streets. So these old cities, they used to have the narrow streets, most of them. Yeah, because there was no car, only carts, donkeys, most of it.
Right.
Okay, this one it's a well, but if you look inside, it's narrow inside. So into some point they used to build the wells narrow inside so that it reduced the heat penetration inside the well. So the water inside was very cool, very nice for drinking. Yeah. So as we see, we have a street in there. So the people who are passing by, if you're thirsty, you could get
So
inside.
it's for anyone?
Yeah, for this one was like a public well, but mostly for drinking water.
Wow.
Yeah, so they used to dig it normal well, but during building now, they'll start from the bottom as they come out. So they'll end up a very narrow well, then they end up on the top side with a narrow mouth, so that you could cover it very nicely so that it's safe for the kids within. Yeah. So we have this one, we call it House of the Cistern. So House of the Cistern because they found it with a bathtub inside. So this is the bathroom side, but you'll find like it has been cemented, much of it. That's why the walls looks modern. These are toilets. So we have the two, short call, long call toilet.
They're different.
Yeah. So you'll find like within this house, this is the only house they found it with a bathtub inside. So I believe like the person used to live within this house was among the very rich people within the site. That's why he used to have his own bathtub inside the house. Yeah. So these are rooms.
Okay. So this is a house.
Yeah. So in here we have this tree. We call it strangler's fig. If you look at it, it's kind of coiling around. So previously, there was another tree which existed first. Then it was strangled to death by the strangler's fig. Wow. So it has that habit of killing another tree for it to survive very nicely. Oh. Yeah. So this is the palace. So it was built 1/4 acre, divided into two sections, public section and private section. Right. So the public section was used for the king's activities. That's the place we have the men's court, women's court, reception court. Private section, it was built like a residential area of the sultan. So that's the place we have the palace annex. So this is the reception court, waiting room within the palace. So they used to get inside. Then this one used to serve like sitting benches. So they used to sit along because the king's office was next in here. This is the private section. So where he used to live with his family, is within this private section.
Okay.
So we have the palace annex, the residential area of the Sultan. So from this corner up to the end corner, up to near the baobab, is the palace annex, the residential
Wow.
area.
Okay.
So within the palace annex, each room is self-contained. We have 3 major rooms. Each room has its own toilet.
How do you know that?
We will see the toilets very nicely within the rooms.
Okay.
Then this one, it's a pillar tomb. One of the king was buried within the pillar tomb. So for their sultans, they used to bury them. Then they built such a structure. Then they put a pillar on top to show that the one buried inside is highly respected. So this is one of the king who was buried in here.
Right.
Yeah, so the hexagon, kind of pentagon pillars, mostly they were associated with very hierarchy people, high hierarchy people. That's why you'll find like even the Vasco da Gama pillar, it was of the same kind of design.
Yeah.
But it was sealed later on by the British. So in here we have some houses which were named depending on the items they used to get as they were excavating the areas.
Okay.
So we have House of Chinese Cash, they found Chinese coins, they're in the gallery. House of Venetian bead, they found a bead from Venice, Italy. But this one was taken for Jesus for marketing. So it's not with us within our gallery. As we exit the place, we'll see House of the Iron Lamp. They found an iron lamp from India. House of Caesars, they found Caesars from Spain. As well, we'll see them within the gallery. So they're well preserved within the gallery. So this one is House of Cowries. So they found the cowrie shells. So by then, the cowrie shells was used like currency. So after barter trade, they advanced to cowrie shells now. So this one is part of the inner wall, yeah, which used to secure the rich inside the city. The other one is outer wall part. So this was a street which was exiting up to the north gate side. So we have the north gate of the outer wall. So for this one, you used to join from here, securing now the rich inside very nicely. Yeah, for the Swahili, it's an Arab term. So for it, they used to pronounce it Swahel, not Swahili. Swahel. So which means coast. So as they are coming to coastline, they used to call these coastal people Waswahel, the coastal Bantus now, of which most of them, they were the Mijikenda. Yeah, so for the Mijikenda, it was hard for them to pronounce the term exactly as the Arabs were pronouncing it. So instead of Swahel, they used to call them Swahili. Yeah, Swahili. So they were Swahel, they were the people from the coast. Then they were Swahili, now they are the people, the local Bantus. So this is the gallery. We call it ethnographic gallery. So it's from the Swahili ethnicity. So these are the artifacts which were found within the ruinside. So within these 3 boxes, these are the artifacts which were collected within the ruinside, and some pots within here gallery.
Okay.
Most of them, they were brought in by the museum, just a capture of the Swahili culture. So we have some beds, we have some bows, we have some swords, which were brought in by the museum just to capture the Swahili culture.
Okay. Maybe you can tell us exactly, according to how you've explained to us, maybe the scissors, in accordance to the,
Yeah, so we have House of the Iron Lamp from India. This is the iron lamp from India. House of the Scissors, these are the scissors from Spain. This is the key and a small hand chain which were found within the palace side, the men's court. Then you have House of the Chinese Cash. These are the Chinese cash. Number 5, number 6 are the Chinese cash.
Okay.
Then number 4, it's a bronze eye pencil. So it was found at the bathtub. Yeah, so where there was a bathtub, they found the bronze eye pencil. We have the pale hairpin. It was found at the palace. We have these ivory plates, ivory knife handle. So these ones were found within, we have another house, we call it House of the Ivory Box within the site. So they found these ones. So we have a cooking pot. This one, it's a lamp, local oil lamp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so these ones were from the Swahili community, most of it. Cooking pots, these are jar.
Water.
Yeah, for the water.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we have some pots in here. We have pot number 4, pot number 5, and the last one, they were collected within the ruins.
Within the ruins, okay.
Yeah. But most of them, they were brought in by the museum, just a display of the Swahili culture pots used. So the bigger one was for water. The other one behind was used mostly for cereals. That's why if you look at the mouth of it, this one has a very wide mouth so that you could fetch the water very nicely inside. The other one has a narrow mouth, so they used to put, if it's cereals, then they seal it on with a cork on top so that no rodent can get in. Yeah, the last one, it's a tombstone, so this one is from Narani ruins. Yeah, it's in Kilifi. Yeah, so at the Kilifi ferry bridge, that's the thing where they got it.
Okay.
These are display of the palace, the way it is at the moment. So this one was made by the museum.
Wow, by the museum.
Yeah, just a capture of the palace, the way it is at the moment. Yeah, so this one is a display of the palace. So we have the public section. This is the private section. Yeah, the very nice splitting. Arab door. So you'll find like for the Arab doors, they used to have like sharp ends. It's different from the Portuguese door. So the Portuguese doors used to be flat at the back side. So they used to have like a box side on the back side. Then it's sharp end. But the Arabs, they used to have both sides sharp ends. Yeah. Then we have the beds, Samadari bed. It's a display of the Swahili culture, the beds used. So for this one, you can find them up to date. Yeah. So because they are made by the Swahili, that's why you have the display of the Swahili beds. This one, it's a child cradle for the babies. We have a copper plate. Wow. Mostly for food serving. They used to put the plates inside, and you could carry it very nicely.
All this?
Yeah.
It's too big.
Yeah. Then we have the ceremonial chair. Mostly it was acting like a throne, Swahili throne. Okay. Yeah. So they used to decorate it with a kind of ivory, tiny ivory place, and they fix it in well within the seat. Yeah. This one is a dressing code of the Swahili ladies. Yeah. So we're on a leso. Then mostly you'll find like for the Swahili, Swahili ladies, they like communicating via writings. That's why you buy a leso, you buy a kanga, depending on the writings it's high. Yeah. So you could see a very nice colored kanga or leso, but with the writings which is not matching to the event you are attending. So you buy the leso according to the writings it has. Then you have some necklaces, earbands, handbag. So for these ones were brought in by the museum. Just a capture of the Swahili ladies, mostly Swahili, Arabs, Indians. They used to wear these kind of necklaces and bands.
They're for the male?
This one is for the lady. It's a belt. But those ones were for men, daggers. Yeah, so for the daggers, they are still used up to date. So during these marriage ceremonies, mostly for the Swahili now, the Muslims community, you'll find them wearing it very nicely in the West.
Up to date, the scientists are yet to discover the specific community that lived in the GEDE ruins. But due to the artifacts found here and its proximity to the sea, they say that the Swahili, known as Coast, used to stay here. This is fresh from Malindi. For DS Media, I am Sophia Rukwaro.